I did mention to you the other time that at the beginning, when creation started, there was affinity, immortality. Now, in our own time of creation, God came forth and noticed in his garden a dark spot. He approached the dark spot and declared, "Let there be light." What happened? There was light. This was the beginning of his creation, of this our system. Then, was it not written? Out of the light, God created the heavens and the earth. So, like I mentioned elsewhere, the heavens, not only one, but the earth one. I'm trying to make you dig into the background till when God gave you the authority to take dominion. So, like I said, out of the light, he created the heavens and the earth. Then, what was there in the earth? There are 4 elements: the earth, the water, the air, and the fire. These are the basic materials that make up our earth. Out of this basic material, he took some quantity and made an image of himself. The image, like our people mold images left and right, it cannot talk. But we were told it was of his likeness, God's own likeness, which is the temple that I mentioned somewhere. The temple of the Most High God. God now made it. God now built his own temple. Are you following my point? So God now made his own temple, but it cannot move. It has legs, it has nose, it has eyes, it cannot see, it cannot do anything. God has to activate it by imposing himself into it. How? He took a breath and breathed into his nostril the breath of life. This is a part of God that is the creative the I am that I'll be talking about. So this one entered into that image, which is the likeness of God, which is now the temple of the Most High God. And he saw it can move left and right. Oh, he identified himself. I am. So what I'm saying is that it is that flame of God which is not anchored in the heart of man that makes man a man. That makes man a living flame. Remember, God now gave him an intellect with which this man can recognize and operate earth. Your mental capability. So you see how man is evolving. That is why we are told, ye are sons and daughters of God. Because immediately when he breathed into that image, the child of God came out. That was why I told you before, ye are sons and daughters of God. Can you not see how simple it is to understand? There is that power, that authority, I am, that is inherent in you, which Jesus Christ is always identifying. I am. We are together in the Father. It is the Father that doeth works. Of myself, I can do nothing. Are you seeing? Like I said, the book of Exodus, which we have also quoted, say, what is the name? Say, I am. I am that I am. The Indians call him Om. I am that I am. Om Mani Padme Om. That's what the Indians. But the power of the word Om Mani Padme Om is not as heavy, as weighty as when you pronounce it in the English language. I am that I am. So what I'm saying is that the word I am is the origin of creation. It is our authority that when it is sounded into the ethers, all the powers and forces of the universe wait for your command. That is why it is a power inherent in the individual that the individual has to know. Like I said, this is an applied knowledge, a proven knowledge. That is why Saint Germain, in one of the discourses, said when you are confronted with an issue, with a problem, you have nothing to, you don't know what to do. Remain perfectly still and say, I am. I am. I am. Something will happen that you yourself will feel surprised that you are free from your fears. So are you seeing the weight behind that word, I am? That is why I said, the world is not a small classroom. I don't need to tell you about Saint Germain Foundation anymore. Go into the website, discover the nitty-gritty of all the hidden powers inside the Holy Bible or other holy books that are close to you. They are there in this great knowledge. It is for you to know the fundamental, to be able to absorb them and utilize them. That is why when you call to the angels of the flaming sword, because I'm going to introduce you to this group of people. The Bible mentioned them slightly, but the emphasis for us to be able to appreciate and interact with this group of people is what we are talking about. So what we are saying is that power, that authority of life is given to you. Now you have been given free will to use that word, I am. So this is why we must be careful. Like I mentioned elsewhere, if you plan evil secretly, you are falling short of that word. But any good thing you do, you are recording it as positive, as an advantage to yourself, because what you sow, you reap. That is why Francis Bacon said, the good is often interred with their bones, because it's recorded for you. So in future, that is what is going to be used to bless you. Because all the good we have been doing are being gathered and being stored up for you. Whereas the evil that men do lives after death. The evil that a man do, like Francis Bacon said, will pursue the individual. This is what you did that day. Pay back. So you see, my beloved ones. So God now said to this man, take dominion. So we come to the words that we were trying to talk about. So it is with this in mind, God told man, take dominion. I've made you and I've made the earth. You are the master. Heir apparent to my throne on earth. So when you study and apply, this is why I said St. James' work is an applied message. It is not a matter, this one said, according to that man. So that is why I love this man's statement. When you get hold of the word, don't stop saying it. Don't stop speaking it. Papa Oyakhilome, to be specific, is a great man. We may also mention him elsewhere. For when you do good, it's good for people to appreciate. So when you get hold of the word, and the word is what? I am. Don't stop saying it. Don't stop speaking it. Don't stop chewing it. Don't stop seeing it. Don't stop hearing it. Don't stop doing everything that is in you. Don't stop feeling it. Because when you get to the level, you have built a momentum where it works for you. You become the miracle worker. Remember, humility is what is required to empower this world. That people scarcely know whether it's that smallish man that is doing the work. It is when there's a need that this power forces itself out. Forces itself out. Then you are operating. You can move the rocks to move. You can move negative forces and persons to clear the way. In fact, your appearance will make the people clear the way. Look, gentlemen, we are not disturbing you. You are free to go on your way. So, you see, that is why the man said, when you get hold of the word, you build a momentum of it. Don't stop saying it. Don't stop speaking it. Don't stop hearing it. Don't stop feeling it. You don't stop. Because in the fullness of God is the love that you require. In the fullness of God are the things that you desire. At the time you are applying this word in that capacity, you are no more that physical being. You are talking as God. You are speaking God's language. So who are the people who are enlightening us? Jesus the Christ. Saint Germain. Beloved Godfrey ascended. Lotus ascended. Cardinal Bolzano ascended. So many others. They have been able to introduce us to this message that we now know the role of the angels in our midst, the role of the ascended host of light. Don't we have the cherubim, the seraphim? The explanation to meet with these people has not been enough. This is what made the ascended masters come now. That without their assistance, we may still be lost. Jesus Christ came and gave us the love ray. Saint Germain is completing it with the transfiguration flame, the transmutation flame, which is a violet flame. You see, so we will talk about these individuals from time to time as well. So you see that your taking dominion is really a simple exercise. So God gave you free will, choice. You can decide on your own to do what is good on behalf of others. You will reap the result. But when you do bad on behalf of others, you also reap the result. This is the grammar that many of us are yet to appreciate. And once we are able to appreciate it, like I said, you become a miracle worker with all the amount of humility that is desired. You become a God being. You become a God man. So you see, is it not really wise that begin to look at these scriptures, that begin to dig far? After Saint Germain and Godfrey's work, there are so many other publishers that are trying to mimic Saint Germain, Jesus, and the Ascended Host. By reflecting on this great instruction brought out by Guy de Ballard. So, in a nutshell, you are the I am. But remember, you are the I am minor. There is the supreme authority. When we continue to look at this I am in future messages, we will go to the book of Ezekiel, where the description of your mighty I am present is, as explained by Guy W. Ballard and his team. You will see how you are really, as a human being, a man of 7 parts. But that is an issue for tomorrow, another day. So what we are saying is that, yes, you are an authority. Authority made by God himself. And you are an extension of this great God. So remember that. Remember that. So these things that we are talking, these issues we are discussing, we have said, we want to look at some of the important grammar. I've just told you now, dominion. That is to say, you are the one to exercise authority using your own discretion, choosing what you desire. That is taking dominion. You can imagine the length of time it took Adam to give name to all the animals of the world, to all the trees, to all the herbs, grasses, and all. You can imagine the length of time it took him. He took dominion in his own time. Today we are still taking dominion. The thing is still in our hand, the ball is in our hand, using choice. But remember, you qualify the word I am negatively, you reap negatively. Dominion is giving you authority to exercise that authority over your environment. You are the one to decide, good or bad. You are the one to decide the way forward. That is dominion. Now, because we have been short of the law for a long time, messages are coming to us. The thought is flowing in and flowing out. We are like a radio station. The thought flow in and flow out. They are limitless, whatever comes to your mind. So how do you, what is your receptivity to this information that is flowing through you? That is what we call the encoding potential. How do you receive them? How do you record them? Where do you record them? That's an encoding potential. When you have encoded them to your own understanding, now, how do you put them? How do you record them and put them into practice? That is what we call decoding. That is what the education is called feedback. So how do you record what you have encoded? That is what we call decoding. Because Saint Germain says, the idea of somebody who is presenting a message to you is to find a way and means of passing the message to you. When the message has been passed to you, it is you that must internalize that message and put it to use to know the value of what you have heard. The owner of the message cannot do it for you. You must do it for yourself. That is why I bring this to your knowledge. You see, if you are now depending that the other man will still come and tell you a story and that, before you can understand, you have missed the mark. Like I've been saying, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. It is sweet. It's because you have tasted it. Without your tasting it, you cannot know it's sweet. If somebody is telling you, oh, it is sugar, oh, it is bitter, you cannot know it except you have tasted it yourself. So that is why I just decided that these particular two words with such important meaning, for us to be able to absorb this message, I present to you first. That if you rely on somebody else to decode it for you for your practice, you make a mistake. You will never learn. So that is about the word decoding. So that we can cover some ground today, let me leave encoding and decoding. But at least you appreciate with me that it is your acceptability and utilization that makes message good.